Hello, everyone, and welcome to Touch by Dove Publishing new book release. We have an amazing group of women here who launched their new book, and we are here to celebrate. This is just the beginning, though. So this is not the last time you will see them. This is only the beginning of when you're going to see them, because this is where they start to share and spread the news on their wonderful book. So I'm going to I'm they're going to be co-hosts today because I'm just hosting the spot, but they really are here to let you know what to expect and where you can go to get this book after we celebrate here. We want you to rush on over to these spots and get this book. But I wanted to introduce you to the visionary and the co-authors of a new book called Our Scars Matter. So the visionary, Dr. Florence Champagne, is here, and I really want you to help me to introduce the co-authors that are here, and also to mention those who are can't make it today, but still give them a shout out. And we want to give people a little idea of what to expect when they go out and purchase this book. And I want to get some insight on what made you even decide to do a book project like this.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. And yes, some of our co-authors couldn't make it today. There's one, Michelle. Okay, and Elena, give her a shout out as well as Ruth. Uh, what made me do this book is because not only do we have scars on the outside, which are physical, which you can see, but there's remaining scars on the inside as well, and the trauma of what that experience was like, not only to ourselves, but to our loved ones and things like that.
Well, one of the reasons I love the title of the book, and I love the message when we talked previously before we started everything, and you shared what the mission of it was. And I think I was fascinated by the fact that you are talking about those inside scars. So it's easy to look on the outside, and sometimes you can't even. Which I like this part of the book as well. Some scars you can't even see. And people assume if you can't see it, it ain't there. And that's not true. And some of the stories in the book will actually tap into that because we do treat people according to what we see, what we think. A smile seems to tell somebody everything, but it doesn't necessarily mean someone's happy. It doesn't mean anything. So you're kind of tapping into what that means in the scars. So, and I want to talk to the co-authors as well and find out what made you say yes to this book project. I'm not sure how Dr. Florence reached out to you all, but you had to have some kind of connection to share the stories that you're sharing. So we'll start with Shafika and tell us what made you say yes to the book project in the first place, and how was it kind of pouring out this experience in a book?
Okay. Well, this whole project, well, no pun intended, is just very close to my heart here. And when Florence approached me about it, I was already thinking about doing my own book with some of the same stories and the mission that Florence approached me on. So it was a perfect match when she came to talk to me about it, about sharing my story of going through two heart surgeries here, and just as Florence mentioned, just the internal and external scars as well. So it was really a mission of love for me to just write these chapters, and also to release some things in the book here. Some of the things that most likely led to my heart surgeries that I had because of certain stress that I was going through. So it
Hmm.
relates to all women out there because, and not just women, men, I mean, everyone has internal and external scars here. So it was really a inspiration as far as to me to write. It was a release of things that some things I went to as far as forgiveness as well, and there's some humor in the book as well here. So, it's really a inspiration as far as to anybody who picks up a copy of it here.
I love that. Michelle, how about you? Why yes?
Well, for the most part, it was an opportunity to take part in like a sisterhood of sharing of stories. You
Mhm.
know, usually I talk about what happened to me to other people, and they really didn't understand it. But to be able to tell it from a different perspective, as far as like what we were saying about the scars, the inner, the emotional, outer scars, and to be able to, like I said, kind of like be in camaraderie with other women who have experienced similar things, different stories, but similar situations with the heart.
Absolutely, like aligning. And I think I love that about collaborations. It kind of brings everybody together, and then you kind of understand why we are on this project together. And Dr. Florence, I wanted to ask you about, I know you have a foundation, and kind of explain, because you're on a mission with this. This is not just one thing. You have a whole mission with the heart. Let's
Yes.
say it that way. So kind of explain that connection for us.
Yes, absolutely. As you know, I'm a survivor, and I started the Open My Heart Foundation because I experienced some challenges in getting the help that I needed, misdiagnosis, some disparities. So I started the Open My Heart Foundation. I found that other women were in similar situations like mine and that I was not alone. And so our mission is to help eliminate heart health disparities among African American women and women of color.
I love that. I love that. So I wanted to ask Shafika and Michelle a question in regards to being co-authors to this project. And were there any, because Shafika, you tapped into it, were there moments in this process where you had to really deal with something that maybe before you started writing this chapter, you didn't really tap into it, but once you started writing, it opened up some wounds, sad or happy. But did you go through some of that when you were writing this?
Yes, yes. In both instances, sad and happy, I tapped into something I didn't want to tell, but just writing the book, it just brought it. It just brought it forth as far as to tell this, because it was something about forgiveness, and I felt that I know if I'm feeling this way with this situation, somebody else out there could be feeling as far as the same way. And then also too, there's a chapter where I brought up my brother. My brother has passed, and we had a very deep, close relationship. So bringing something up about him, actually, it was a humorous situation, but it brought me joy as well, as far as to remember, something that happened, when we were younger here. So it was a little bit of both.
Absolutely. I see that Carol joined. Thank you so much, Carol, for joining. She said, I already purchased my book, and my longtime friend Shafika will autograph it for me. So she's letting you know to autograph this book. So we have put you on blast, Shafika. So make
Yes,
sure you
thank you,
do
Carol.
that. But Michelle, I wanted to ask you, was there
Mhm.
like difficult moments in this process that you had to push through?
Um, yes and no. Not from an emotional standpoint, because I guess I've been dealing with my situation for so long, and I've talked about it and written about it before. But to write about it from a different perspective, like to do a deep dive into my emotions. And one thing I had never really tied to my anxiety was the anxiety associated with what happened to my mother, because she had passed away of heart failure at a young age. And so that made me think, oh, wow, this is really why I had so much anxiety. So I was able to bring that out and also mention that it's okay to be afraid and kind of address some tools associated with dealing with that.
Mhm.
Well, it's interesting because you and Shafika mentioned, which kind of, made me kind of think. You all both mentioned anxiety and, forgiveness and things like that I think people don't think about when they're thinking about. You think about it with matters of the heart, but not that it would put you in a certain situation. But I
Mhm.
wanted to start with Dr. Florence and just say, can you share were there any like statistics out there that people can gain from that you all learned in doing this process? Because I know you all went through it. So you kind of know what we need to look out for. Because I think that there are a lot of hidden things in this, in what happens to you when you have any kind of issue around your heart, and we kind of take it lightly. I'm speaking for self too, that we feel things, we think things, but we're like, okay. But what is it that people really need to know about matters of the heart when it comes to the scars that you all, now carry and what you've been through?
Wow, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of different angles that you can go on. But I will say that when dealing, we know that stress is a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that, I believe it's from the CDC, that 50% of the people diagnosed with some form of cardiovascular disease or heart disease also are diagnosed with some form of depression.
Mm.
And I didn't know, but the two are related as well when you're dealing with stress, anxiety, and blood pressure.
Wow.
So, yeah, you got to really take care. And as the Bible says, guard your heart. You got to take care of your heart, not just physical, but emotionally, the level of stress, and all the things that we try to manage on a regular basis.
Well, it gives you something to think about, because we go through every day and we just don't think about those kind of things until something happens. Which is why I like the project when you talked about it, because I was like, it gives people something to think about before something happens. And you all are talking about the scars behind it. So it's not like you're just kind of guessing at it. You're saying, this is what I went through. This is what I experienced. And you all seem to connect it back to what everybody experiences, which is like stress in your life. And one of the reasons why I was thinking about this is because stress, sometimes you don't even know that you're stressed. You think you're good, and then all of a sudden. So I wanted to ask, kind of moving around, Shafiq and Michelle, was there anything, because some of the information that Dr. Florence just shared, was there anything that you learned about this process? And I'm thinking, when you shared your chapter, because we're not going to give them too much because we want them to go out and buy the book. So y'all not going to get everything up in here. But we wanted to kind of, what do you want people to gain from the chapter, from the information you shared in your chapter? What do you really want people to walk away from the book and kind of think about?
I want people to just like read each of our stories and just see if you can relate it to something that you have gone through here, and just to see how each of us have survived different things. And it's not just like I had heart surgery. Some of us had heart transplant. Some of us had a stroke. So there's all of those different matters of the heart that are revealed in this book here, that I think everyone will be able to take away something as far as to get inspired. And what I love about this, that Florence brought forth in all of us, is to at the end of each chapter, it's nice because people can journal. So, that is a plus for people to really share their stories. And, when they read a chapter, they can just write their insight, write how they felt right there, right after the chapter. So, that was amazing that Florence came up with that idea for us. So I just absolutely love that.
Yeah, personally speaking, I am definitely a fan of sections of a book where I can pull out my pen and write in a book, because I grew up in a stage where you could not write in no book. Don't you write in them books? I did it to my grandson too. And then when I wrote a children's book and he took a crayon to him, like, oh no. But I actually like that there's a space in there for you to put your thoughts down immediately, so you don't walk away from the book and not think about the connection there. So Michelle, for you, what do you want people to walk away from in regards to what you contributed?
I want people to walk away with the thought of, like I mentioned before, first, if you're fearful of something, especially if you're not going out and getting yourself checked, you feel these signs and you don't do anything about it. That's one thing. Kind of try to dispel that fear, and then realize that the fact that you're getting these signs, it means something, and that there is some form of hope, that is not a death sentence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that you can be a survivor, but you just got to take the steps to move forward and not just sit on your laurels when you notice that something strange is going on in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's an actual good point. And that goes for men and women,
Mm-hmm.
with recognizing and then doing something about it. And a lot of times we dismiss things that don't hurt, or we dismiss things where, oh, it's not a big deal, we'll be okay. And you could be missing something major just because you don't know. So I like too that you all are kind of, educating people on what to look for,
Yes.
how to handle it on the front side of things. And also you all are actually capturing, which I think a lot of people don't get, is afterwards, how you got through.
Mhm.
Because you can talk about what you went through, but it's about how you got through, which speaks to what you were saying, Michelle, where it's not a death sentence at all. This is just giving you some insight on how these women were able to step up to the challenge and deal with it. So, Dr. Florence, I wanted to ask you because, like I said, they are just getting started. They just released this book. I want you to be able to tell them where they can go and check out this book while we're having this conversation. I still want to make sure that you still have time to go out there and share this so people know. But tell us a little bit about what your plans are. Because I know everybody's going to go out and do their thing, but what are your plans with this particular book project in connection with all the other things you are doing with the Open Heart Foundation?
Okay, so to answer the first part of your question, we each have different portals that you can go through to purchase the book. Of course, you can go to the openmyheartfoundation.org, and I'll let the other ladies direct you on where to go, as well as Amazon. Um, and I'm sorry, the second part of your question
What do
was?
you want? Like, where do you see this? Because I know you have some events.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so tell us where this book is getting ready to go.
All right. So it's getting ready to go to the Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. And that's this upcoming week I believe we'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at
Okay.
the Convention Center. So you can see each of us will be signing books, and we're looking forward to that. We're also having a mix and mingle coming up in October, and you can find out about it through our social media or through our website, openmyheartfoundation.org.
Okay. Shafika, where will they be able to find when you go out there and do your thing? Where are they going to be able to find you and get a copy and signed, of course, from all of you? Where are they going to be able to find you?
Okay, they can easily contact me as far as through email at shafika.miles@gmail.com. And also feel free as far as to give me a call also too to purchase the book at 240-513-8823 as well. But I'll have other ways coming up where they can come and purchase, of course, on social media here. So you can look me up on social media.
Okay. And Michelle?
You can go to my website at michellebgospel.com. That's MICHELLEB, the letter B, gospel, GOSPEL.com.
And the reason I want to let people know is because with collaborations, you'll see these, ladies individually doing their things, selling their books, but also know that they're also on online outlets, spreading the word. And you all go out there. I will say, Dr. Florence, I wanted to encourage people, when you do go out on Amazon and get their book, leave a review. It helps their numbers as far as spreading the word and getting this book out even internationally. So please share your reviews, which means you have to read this book. Okay. You got to read it. But just take into account, you can share it, share what you've learned in the book with other people and encourage them to go out. Cause I think spreading the word about anything in regards to the heart is just really important. I think we take for granted our bodies and how we are feeding our bodies, whether it's through your diet or through like we talked about anxiety. I think, the state of the world these days, we just need to be careful that we are not misinterpreting feelings that we are having as just, oh my goodness, it could be acid reflux or all these kind of things. We kind of diagnose ourselves, and I wanted you all to talk about maybe how you encourage people to maybe go to the doctor, get checked, and what signs they may look for. You all may have experienced different things that happened when you were going through your experience without telling too much. But are there any signs that anybody want to share that maybe people need to look for in going through something like this, where you may have to deal with something?
I would just say if your body feels out of whack and it's not normal, sometimes we don't even know what the signs to look for are. Like with me, I having a heart attack was the furthest thing from my mind, but I also didn't know that a neck pain around your jaw was a sign of a heart attack, because that's where your arteries are. And I didn't know that that could be a sign of a heart attack. So that's just a little teeny bit of something, because you don't look like what you've been through. The same thing is, you don't feel like what it may be, And
Absolutely.
there's signs and symptoms that are different on women as opposed to men as well. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that either. So thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
Shafika, was there anything that you could share that people could kind of look out for?
I just want to share, like Florence says, we are the number one people that know our bodies the best. So we know what something is not feeling right, and it could be just the little things that can turn into a very big thing as well here. So just don't put it off. So many people put it off. So many people say, well, okay, well, I'm busy, I'll take care of that, at the end of the week or something like that. Well, you might not get to the end of the week.
Right.
Or my main thing is, don't be afraid to think that you're going to bother someone. Call anyone, whether it's a friend or something. Say, I'm feeling this way. I don't feel good enough to drive myself somewhere. Just reach out to someone here. But sometimes we feel that, okay, well, I don't want to bother someone, so I'm just going to keep this in here. So
Mm.
so that's the number one thing right there, is just to get yourself checked out, basically as soon as possible. And when you do get checked out, just make sure that your voice is heard when you do get checked out here.
So it's
It
kind of a feel something, say something, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, yes.
So what about you, Michelle?
If you're short of breath or fatigued, don't think it's just because, oh, maybe I just didn't get enough sleep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are some really, and I guess it can be, it's a little scary sometimes because you think it's everyday things that you feel every day. That could be anything, right? So, you kind of dismiss it because you don't want to come off, which is, that's why I like what you all are sharing, because you don't want to come off as, oh, she's just, you're overthinking it. And we tend to kind of dismiss things because of that. But it's a great point that these are things that you wouldn't, normally think about. And you need to keep those in the back of your mind. Not that you should just kind of panic, but just say, okay, let me take this in and maybe just check it out, see what's going on. And prayerfully, it's nothing. But even if it is something, you all are kind of presenting in a way where it's like, okay, it's something. So here's what you do. You're going to deal with it. You're going to ask these questions and you're going to do these things to get you through it. And then on the other side of this, it's going to be okay. So I do like the fact that before we say goodbye with everything, but I do like the fact that Dr. Florence pulled in ladies of all ages. I know that it can be really challenging, but I thought it was exciting to have, ladies who are seasoned in their life, just what they've experienced in life, and that they, sat down and wrote these chapters. And I was just amazed at that, and that you even, a lot of people don't do that. I'm just saying. So I wanted to ask, are there any first time authors in your group?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
So, actually, there's one.
Okay. So I
Mhm.
did want to say congratulations just because I believe it is a huge deal to become an author, because writing is permanent. It's here long after we are gone from here. So I really do think it makes a difference on, leaving something for others to lean on. And so congratulations. Who is the new author to the team?
She's not here right now, Ruth
Ruth?
Harris, and
Okay.
yeah, she's one of our newest authors. And Elena, I believe Elena may have been in another book project before. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Well, congratulations to the new author. Welcome to the club. But before we go, I wanted to say thank you to Donzella. Actually, came in and said, "Amazing ladies." And then we also had, I think this is Soul Worthy. Congratulations on the launch of this book. Proud of my cousin Shafika for being a contributing author, as well as Dr. Florence and Michelle is part of this book too. So congratulations to all of you all. But are there any parting words that you have for people to get kind of pumped up to go out to at this moment, just at this moment, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, to go at least leave your review, but still contact the people that you are familiar with to get your books because you want signed copies. So you want to go there, but you also want to go to the people that you know and love here that are co-authors and visionaries and get the books from them so that they can sign the copies because we need them signatures in them books. I'm just saying. We need that in here. So are there any parting words that you ladies wanted to share with people,
Well,
and just encourage them to get out there?
I would encourage them by saying that you never know where you're going to see yourself, whether it's yourself or a loved one through these pages of the book. So I would say get a copy, learn about some of the things that we've already gone through. And,
Exactly.
and you may be able to go a little step further yourself or to help someone else.
Absolutely. Shafika?
I would say for everyone getting a copy of this book to just embrace it, learn from it, and then turn it around and write your own story.
Mhm.
Michelle?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I have to reiterate everything that the other ladies have said, but at the same time, think of it as not just something that, even if it's not for you, but for someone else. And think of it as, okay, this is, even though we talk about heart stories and so forth, this could be carried on to any type of condition because we're talking about emotional scars as well as physical scars, and it may not be anything that physically happened to you. It could be
Mm,
something, some kind of hurt that you've experienced. So think of it like as, well, I may get something out of it other than the fact that, oh, they're talking about their heart stories.
hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
I love that. And I wanted to actually thank you all. I will be getting probably a couple of copies. What I tend to do is, get copies and then when I have my podcast, I give them away to encourage people. I tell them about what you all are out there doing. But I just wanted to let everyone know who's tuned in that you can continue to go to Touch by Dove Publishing and see this video, and actually, we will be promoting the book as well. So I wanted to say congratulations to you ladies, and thank you for what you're doing. I think that there are not enough people out here that are kind of spreading the word in a positive way and giving people hope and encouraging them that not only can they get through this, but they can write it down and talk about it and share it with someone else that can get through it too. So I appreciate you all
Lisa?
for allowing Touch by Dove Publishing to be a part of it. And I know that this book will touch many people's hearts.
Mhm.
Thank
Lisa, can I
you.
mention
Yeah,
something?
thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, I just want to thank Lisa and Touch by a Dove Publishing here. So
Oh,
I just appreciate how your publishing company just has a heart to embrace authors and just lead them down the whole path from someone who has never written before here. So we appreciate you taking on our project here and just making it a beautiful gift to everyone here.
I appreciate it. I know we've been through some bumps and toils and things, but with Touched by Dove Publishing, one thing that we are about is the experience. Because we are aware that it's not just, you just send something and then it goes up, and it just doesn't happen that way. And unfortunately, with all books, you go through things where you're like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? But I do believe that sometimes it becomes a little more challenging because it's that powerful. So that's kind of how I embrace things where there are challenges. But it also gives you an opportunity to learn. And I'm hoping that through this, we've learned some things, even with just publishing in general, for when you get ready to do this again, part 2. I'm just encouraging them, y'all. But I really do appreciate you all giving us an opportunity to be a part of this. So we're going to spread the word just like you. So you all please stay connected to all of their platforms, connect with them, get your copy, and then share that information with someone else so that they can get their copy, so that you get a copy, you get a copy, you get a copy. And I will be giving some out, and I'll tag you all when I do that. So if you want to come in and kind of talk about what the book is about, but they're not going to give you anything else today because, you got to go out and get the book. But thank you all so much for allowing us to help you to host this new book release. And we look forward to seeing you out there passing, information out on hearts and how to manage these difficult and challenging situations. So your scars absolutely matter. And thank you for sharing your journeys with us. Have a good one.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thank you.